Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ripping the Boards. It's your boy Sam, where we talk all things NASCAR. And today we'll be talking about the Talladega races for this past weekend. Okay, so let's first talk about the Xfinity race. Well, actually, I might briefly talk about the ARCA race. It was what you expect from ARCA. Like you have a green flag checker, green flag checker finish, and they wreck before they even get to turn one. That's so typical. But yeah, that's all the attention that ARCA deserves. So let's get to the Xfinity race. The Xfinity race was damn good. I mean, once again, they just show why on most weekends they may have the best product. They may actually have the best product, and yeah, make if they had more experienced drivers, but they had those better cars, it would be even better show. I feel, but how we say we want the Cup cars to race is basically how the Xfinity cars are racing right now. Mm, that's what happens when they don't have a whole bunch of drag. They don't have a whole bunch of downforce. Their cars are a little bit more difficult to drive. And look at how great the racing is on that side. Only problem is that NASCAR doesn't allow them to lock bumpers, which is stupid because these are professional drivers. They should be able to lock bumpers. They should be able to lock bumpers. They should be able to. I will always say you should be able to go to below the yellow line. That should be a self-policing issue. If you guys want to have something be policed by NASCAR, it should just be over aggressive driving, like overly aggressive, like you're trying to endanger other people. That's definitely not hard racing. And anybody who's actually watched the sport long enough, you could tell. You could tell the difference between aggressiveness and hard racing. Um, so it was a great race all throughout. I was, of course, you have the RCR cars in the Xfinity field. They're just way overpowered. They probably have 15 or more horsepower or something. Because my goodness, those cars are just crazy. They're just wild. But it was great until the end, where once again NASCAR they just they can't help themselves. They really can't. They really can't help themselves. Like, oh, we got a really good finish for shaving up here. Like, oh, we have a car spinning out to the inside. Oh, they have damage. Oh, you know, we've had cars had big incidents on the last lap before, and we haven't thrown the caution immediately, on a lot of those incidents. But we've also, like, in the last few years, they have. It's also, I think it's part of the same reason why we have lower speeds now at most of the tracks, because NASCAR, they have insurance just like every sport does. Ooh, sorry. They have things they need to cover, right? If things get too out of hand or you have like a fatality at an event, whether it's a competitor or spectator, they're going to get in trouble for it. So I guess partly they're trying to cover their own backside. But then it also makes no sense because we have a million and one wrecks at the super speedways and a lot of other tracks, especially with the lower series. So what are we really doing here? Like, the more spread out racing that we have, the less likelihood of there being big wrecks. Just saying. And but I must say the Xfinity race was really, really good. It was really good. But at the end, we have Connor Zilic spinning down to the inside. I think he just got a bad block, bad block or bad push gone wrong. And yeah, he hit the wall a ton on the inside, but it's the final lap, You have to let these guys race back, NASCAR. We have to. Like, we're really, those of us in the NASCAR community, we are really getting tired of saying, let them race back. Yes, we understand guys may need tending to, but you're on the backstretch almost to turn 3. Literally in turn 3. Like, by the time he hit the wall, like, the leaders were already in turn 3. At that point in the race, your finger, put the button away. Just put it away. Put a guard over the button. Do whatever you gotta do so you don't push it. If someone is really, really hurt, it doesn't matter if you throw the caution, 10 seconds before or 30 seconds before, or 30 seconds after. It does not matter. That person is going to be seriously hurt on impact. You may call me an asshole for that, but I really don't care. I don't give a damn. This is a dangerous sport. There were no fans involved. There was nothing involved with a catch fence. Single car spin to the inside wall on the last lap of the race. At a track to where, we're more worried about, if the caution is going to come on the last lap instead of actually racing back to the damn line. This is stupid. When are we going to fix this? When are we going to fix this? It's really dumb. It's really dumb at this point. I'm really tired of this. This is my favorite sport and it's killing me. Just it costs you nothing to get your foot out of your own mouth. NASCAR, do better. Now. And that's just Saturday. Don't even get me started with the Cup race. I literally just made a video about this on Thursday saying, we're going to have 2x2 gridlock, or we're going to have 3 wide, fuel saving, riding around for most of the damn stage until we're like, it's time to pit. But the stages are just long enough to where you have to make a pit stop under green or under yellow, whether it doesn't matter. But they're also short enough to where if you have that stop, that you don't actually get to see how things play out. You don't actually get to see things play out. We're talking about, these cars, they're too stuck together. Yes. We have a perfect storm right now of cars they're too close together the whole race, right? We're not able to get spread out at all. And sometimes when you get spread out, that's when you have guys being able to make moves on each other. But when it's gridlocked the entire time, you're not going to be able to move unless you can get a third lane going. And the only way with this car that you're going to get a third lane going is when they're fuel saving. Because when they're going full speed, we've only had 2 lanes. And for a few laps in yesterday's race, we had to have 2 of the fastest cars in the field of Joey Logano and Zane Smith absolutely pushing the hell out of each other just to make a couple car lengths on the second lane. There's way too much drag in these cars. Way too much drag. There is way too much drag in these cars. We have to have a smaller spoiler, get rid of the damn diffuser, get rid of the underbody, reduce the horsepower, get rid of the damn stage cautions. If you're not going to get rid of stage racing, get rid of the stage cautions. We cannot afford to keep going on this road. It might look good for a picture. But you know what else looks good? Actual three-ride racing that we used to have back in the early 2000s and the 2010s until we started going down the road of, it's a whole bunch. You have to have full-on connection to the car in order to make a move. There's nothing wrong with being able to just use a bubble and be able to go forward. That helps you stay off of other cars, and it promotes less big wrecks. We literally started having bigger wrecks once we started going to the next gen. I'm not saying we didn't have big wrecks in the last few years of the Gen 6, but it was less likely. Until, like, I'd say 2018, 2019, when you had to have your bumper on the car in front of you just to make a move. Like, there's so much drag. The runs are huge, but that's only if you're behind someone. As soon as you pull out and make a pass now, you have to have a gang of guys with you, or you're going to the back. Look at yesterday's finish. No one in the first few rows made a move. No one made a move because they couldn't. They couldn't because they were all scared that they were going to be that one guy, like Kyle Busch last year, who gets hung out on the last lap. On the last lap. It's literally the last lap. And no one wants to make a move. What are we doing here? Get rid of the damn stage cautions. Or get rid of stage racing entirely. These guys will race. They want to race. They don't want to ride around. They want to race. They don't want to ride around. They want to go after it. These are the best drivers in the world. Stop putting them in this damn box, NASCAR. Seriously. Stop putting them in this box. Then you wonder why people are starting to resent super speedway racing. Super speedway racing has always been dangerous, yes. It's always been chaotic. But then when you have to be on top of each other an entire event, when you don't have the option to just ride around a little bit and be able to have a little calm before the storm, and then you actually can make your way through the field, when you have to be go, 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 and it's not even go, go, go. It's too wide, or you're fuel saving. But NASCAR's all worried about their optics and having Big Daddy Fox pay for their bills and Big Daddy NBC pay for their bills. We gotta fix this, man. We gotta fix this. We can't keep going down this same road. Pay attention to all our YouTubers, NASCAR YouTubers. We're all trying to say the same thing. Look on NASCAR Twitter. We're all saying the same thing. Take away a lot of the horsepower at the drafting tracks. Take away a lot of the drag and watch these cars come alive. I promise you, they will come alive. For a perfect example of what I'm talking about, to where you didn't have to be all up on someone's bumper to get them to make a move. Look at the drafting tracks of 20, like, look at the early Gen 6 days, right? 2013 to 2016, 2017, right? Before we started using the Camaros and the Mustangs, before they started coming in, because that's when NASCAR started to change the rules, and we had what we all used to call those ugly ass spoilers, because they're ugly, they're big, they're huge, they're like 8 9 inches. They're not. They're so large, in fact, that the top half of it is glass. It's Lexan. So drivers can have a little bit of field of vision, because if not, you wouldn't be able to see a damn thing. It's it's just as bad as when we had the wings on these cars, vision wise. Well, these back then we could actually race. My gosh, it's. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Because NASCAR is so worried about optics. NASCAR is so worried about, you know, who knows what they're worried about at this point. This used to be my favorite track. Talladega used to be my favorite track. Daytona used to be in my top five. And when you see me more excited about a road course finish and a road course race than a super speedway race, at least for me, that's how you know if something is extremely wrong. We've gone down this path, continuing to go down this path. I don't see change in sight. We gotta keep fighting. We gotta keep fighting though. So, we implore you, make the changes. Make the changes. And when you finally do make the changes, don't look to have the credit, because you were the ones that messed it up in the first place. Don't create a problem, then fix it. Then look for the credit of when you fixed it. But that's all I got for you guys today. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me ramble about, but it has to be said. It's terrible right now. Talladega used to be so great. Like, before the Gen 7. Like, even with 2019 to 2021, yes, it was chaotic. Yes, the runs were huge. But these guys can make a move on each other without having to be, you know, they can make moves on each other without having to be worried about if they're going to be stuck in the back all day and not be able to make a move through the pack. You could make your way through the pack in those days. 2018 and back, the same, you know? But I'd say 2013 to 2017 and 2012 and back, that was peak, restrictor plate racing. What we have now is just a joke. But you have NASCAR on social media, like, oh my gosh, look at this thriller of a finish. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. They know this is a problem, but they don't care to fix it. They know it's a problem. They don't care to fix it though. But look, like, oh, someone rattles off a whole bunch of wins. I'm like, oh, look at this. Look at this, they're on the same level as Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. Like, no. No. They're just, they're avoiding the wrecks. they're having their teammates around them, their manufacturer teammates as well, and they're able to survive. It's all about survival now. It's not racing anymore. It's survival. One last thing before I close. I just remembered because I mentioned the manufacturers. The manufacturers are also helping NASCAR manipulate these races. So NASCAR is manipulating the races, and these manufacturers are also manipulating these races because you get yelled at now if you even push another manufacturer. Like, remember last season when Harrison Burton won at Daytona and the ass chewing that Parker Retzlaff had in the 62 for not going with Kyle Busch, when in fact his car, Beard Motorsports, is not getting any technical support from Chevrolet, but yet they expect another Chevrolet, which is, teammate in manufacturer alone, to push another guy when it's supposed to be all about if your guy can win the race. You want to win the race. All these guys are supposed to want to win the race, but they're all worried about if their manufacturers are going to be pissed off at them for helping the wrong guy. What is NASCAR doing about this manipulation? Didn't they say earlier in the season, before the season began, that they will penalize the manufacturers for manipulating races? Well, they've been manipulating plate races for the better part of a decade. The earliest example of this that I could really think of, where a team had like team orders like this, was the 2016 Daytona 500, where we had all the Toyotas of Joe Gibbs Racing line up on the inside, and they had the whole field at bay. We need to do something about this. Manufacturers should not be able to dictate who their cars work with. And then they wreck together, and then you're like, oh man, we knocked all our guys out at once. And like, maybe you wouldn't have that if they weren't forced to work together all day. That's all Super Speedway is now. Fuel race. Fuel saving, not fuel racing, fuel saving. Manufacturer manipulation. Stay in line, you can't pass. 2x2. Stage cautions. Stage racing. And if you push wrong, you're going to have a huge wreck. And, once that big wreck happens, then you're like, oh, look at this. Look at the underdog story. What underdog story? They missed the damn wreck. They didn't do nothing. They missed the damn wreck. It's a joke. I'm saying we're ripping the boards, man. Not giving up, just really pissed off. Catch you guys in the next episode. But for more content, catch me on Let's Talk _NASCAR on Instagram and Twitter. Catch you guys next time. Peace.